Hey, I'm Dean.
I'm Cyphre.
And welcome back to another episode. Today we've got another new gun for you. We're going over the gas blowback HK45 by KWA.
One of my favorite guns in the real steel, represented by KWA. Finally reaching the market, as it's been around quite a while for them to finally replicate this gun.
Yeah, this has been a long-awaited addition to the gas blowback lines on many websites.
Yep.
Let's just hope to get the vector out soon.
That's like most video, it'll still be your ear.
Exactly. So, first things first, to go over the box. Standard KWA HK box, all information on it. So
all trademark and all that.
They do a good job about that. Also, along with it, you are going to get the KWA stickers, KWA warranty card manual, along with your tools and silicone oil.
A replacement backstrap. One of the key features they introduced when they made the P2000 was replaceable side panels of the backstrap. The 45, unfortunately, was a lot bigger, obviously, because of all the big fat ass around, so only the backstrap was replaceable. This, unfortunately, only comes with one additional, which is slightly larger. Very hard to tell the difference, but it's a little bit bigger bump on the back, and overall, very, very nice feel, though, so I wouldn't even bother changing that myself.
When I'm taking this one out of the box, it was immediately noticeable, the comfort on the gun. I mean, from going from handling a USP to picking this up, and
it's like a box compared to that.
It's,
I mean.
even this compared to a Glock, it's
just Glock's a box.
Yeah, it's an amazingly different gun. It's got, I mean, all the amenities are there. The trades for the real steel are there. You have the HK45, 45 auto. I mean, everything is included on it. Cosmetically, I love it. I think it's a great gun. Just all around comfortable feel. It's even got the functional decocker, which I'll show you here. Works perfectly. So
probably uses the same exact internals as the USP that they made from, 10 years ago. Yeah. Whatever that was.
Well, HFC is cloning now, right?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah. A little history. This is the successor to the USP, the final 45 successor. After they made the USP line in the 90s, they made the P2000, which was the first of their next generation lineup, and they introduced new features like ambidextrous slide release, a bigger
broken mag.
Yeah. Ambidextrous mag, the longer paddles for the mag release, which is a welcome improvement from the really tiny little hooks they made on the USP, so they're a lot easier to manipulate on this particular model.
One thing that Cyphre went over with me earlier is he found that the mag release on these are a little short compared to the real steel. Yeah,
they didn't really represent this terribly well. The actual guard is bigger, and the release is a lot longer on the side, so you can actually manipulate with the whole finger, basically. It's pretty well done overall, but not really complete. I'm not sure why this is so huge either. Usually the butt plate is aligned up with the base.
Yeah, the mag,
really sure
the mag base plate is rather large on this.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. And it comes out, it's not exactly padded either because the port is right all the way to the end.
Yeah, so it's not like it's with on anyone that's fired a high cappy, you've got that big base plate that's going to absorb some impact. This one, it's just like...
It's like right there. I'm not really sure why they didn't think of that. I think maybe they took a different design. This might be the same basic magazine design as the USP or something for all I know.
It could be. They may have made it to just cross over.
About mags that next time. We'll see if that fits, but I kind of doubt it because it does look different on this shelf here. Overall, a nice feeling overall. Unfortunately, they do use their traditional pot metal, which basically feels like plastic, but it's heavy like metal. I don't really like what they're doing with the recent guns. Doesn't even sound as good as the old guns to me, anyway.
Yeah, and the other thing, the actual barrel is plastic itself.
Yeah, they're starting to use plastic barrels, which, kind of hinders it, makes it sound plastic because, I mean, it's obviously a little better in terms of wear and tear because there's no metal surfaces rubbing against each other. They even represented the little O-ring, which is accounts for its improved accuracy on a real steel, but this O-ring isn't even big enough to touch the slide, so it's kind of useless. They at least do adapt with their KWA started using tips, whole tips that stick on the end of the barrel like WE has been using. And actually looks kind of like tactical, but obviously isn't. But it does a nice addition where you can either yank this off or paint it black.
Yeah, it's the real nice thing is at least now you're not getting a gun like when you get the the KST Glocks, it looks like it's just been
The whole dip.
the whole front end's dipped. And then, I mean, even WeTech's done it on a few 1911 models.
Back in the day, yeah.
KJW's notorious.
But all the companies started adapting to our standards here in the U.S. Since we are a pretty big market, you know, even though we're still a niche market here, we're still customers, obviously, in this market. And so they really adapted. KWA and W11 have started adapting really well to that.
Absolutely. A couple other nice features. It does have ambidextrous slide release. He was talking about the mag release, but the slide release is easy to access on both sides.
It is almost completely ambidextrous. I'm not I think only one of them had safeties on both sides. This one only has a safety on one side.
Yeah, I know the KWA P10, I think, had it on both sides.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong.
Yeah, a couple of variants. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think what did, but this one apparently doesn't. So it's still generally speaking completely ambidextrous because you're really never going to use that safety in Airsoft.
The other thing is nice. It is a 3-dot sight, so it's really easy to
nice
sight in.
bright white dots. Very nice lining up. Very slim profile compared to the USP. It really seems that way because of the angle, this faint angle on the sides. Front caution serrations. That ugly thing on the side that I'm going to shave off later. Warning, this is not a toy, blah, blah, blah.
But overall, our first impressions of it is excellent. What we're going to do now, we're going to get this on the bench, show you a field strip on it. And then we're also going to get it in the range and show you FPS and try and get you some accuracy shots for it as well. Alright, so we're here in the shop. I got the gun on the bench. We put it through the range, and now I want to show you some detail as well as a basic teardown and how to use the mag properly on this gun. First thing, I mean, as you can see all the HK45 trades. You can see all the detail on the the safety switch. So it is a highly detailed gun. But going from that right into the teardown, it's a very simple teardown, just like most USPs. So you're going to pull the slide back until you reach the notch right there. You're going to pull the slide lock out all the way back and then off. There's your field strip. This way you can access the internal parts to lubricate, clean out, dust, whatever you may need to do. Also, you can see in here you've got your recoil spring, your nozzle, your valves, everything you need that you can get access to. Mind you, doing anything like this, depending on the vendor you buy it from, may void your warranty, so be thoughtful before you do this kind of stuff. Now, the nice thing about KWA and their pistols and all gas blowbacks is they have their nice hop-up that utilizes a hop-up key that comes with the gun. So you don't have to do a teardown to do a hop-up like on a Wii or an HFC or in other brands. I wish more manufacturers would go to this because the key is just a really good system. You don't have to tear it down, and it's a better way of adjusting it. Now, we did notice that it is a very similar mag to the USP.
We'll go over that next.
But nonetheless, we were able to load it up. It holds about 28 rounds.
30.
Locks down just like any other KWA. And just load it up. Now the thing you got to remember, unfortunately, if you just do it really quick, as you see, you're going to get gaps. So a lot of people don't like doing it that way where you lock it down. Some people just take a pen and adjust them around. Either way, that's how it works. As far as gas, just like any other mag, and you're going to do that, 3 bursts essentially. 3 seconds. Make sure you turn vertical like this and can in the correct positioning. But that's essentially it. I mean, it's a great gun. It functions really well, and not a lot of maintenance is going to be required for it because it is a KWA. Alright, so Cyphre and I had some pretty fun with this one downrange. Shot incredibly well, shooting on average roughly around 350, 360.
Yeah, for the 360, which is right now it's about 70 degrees, which is that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's functioning really well, and those are standard .2. So I mean, you know you're going to get some good accuracy with some heavier BBs.
We also did some tests with the USP magazine. I actually flipped both of them around. USP magazine is about half an inch shorter, but the top is essentially identical. I think the seal was a little bit bumped on this one, so I tried on USP, it was a little different, but essentially identical. The problem is that the base plate, this is just barely too short, so you can actually remove the base plate and it slides in flush and it works. So enterprising individuals can use their USP magazines by popping out the base plate, and all it is pushing down the little tiny pinhole right there to remove the base plate and slide it right off. And luckily this is a captured pin, so it's not going to fly off when you pull the base plate off.
Yeah, it's similar to the high Kappa mags, have the same idea on the base plate.
Now here's my USP, and this is the HK45, and it's about, there's a gap about as wide as the base plate of that magazine that's sticking out, but overall this magazine is about half an inch longer than the USP magazine, which you can tell by the back. It basically ends where that base plate begins, so it's actually bigger and it probably holds about 4 to 6 more rounds.
Right,
and
because
we actually tried it, and it was actually shooting about 340 with the USP magazine, which the only difference I can notice is the valve.
Yeah.
The valve in the back is kind of narrower on the HK45. Not really sure why, but overall, essentially identical. Just kind of impressive.
So for like I said, those enterprising individuals that may want to purchase additional
you already got a bunch
mags.
of these mags. You already got a bunch of USP mags. They'll work perfectly fine in that if you take the base plate off. Or I guess I'm trying to think if there's any difference in the match or the tactical mags. I think it's just the base plate, isn't it?
It's just the base
Yeah.
plate.
Yeah, still fits flush. Works perfectly fine. No problems whatsoever. Other than obviously a slight capacity and power difference. I'm not really sure why. I guess the valve's way different valve on that one.
Yeah, it could be any number of reasons.
Yeah.
Way to go, KWA. Way to utilize your other products out there. And as you see, he was able to dry fire. And this thing, it just has a great kick on it.
Really hard kick. Really, really nice.
Which for being the lighter weight material is pretty impressive. Usually those lighter weight materials don't have a kick of that stature.
Fine.
Yeah, so that shows you it works crossing over.
Yeah, we fired a whole mag through both. Well, I didn't fire with this gun obviously, but this. I didn't really know the power difference, but it's kind of nice. Overall, pretty nice. Maybe a little bad because some of our fields limit about 350 FPS.
Yeah.
A little too close.
You may have to see about sneaking some 2.5s into the gun to get it down.
Or just use my USP magazine.
There you go. Smart thinking. Overall, it's a beautiful gun. It's comfortable. It's easy to use. Teardown was a breeze, as you saw.
Pretty nice too.
Functionality is just absolutely perfect. I think KWA hits it out of the park. In my sense, I'm going to give it an 8. Price is a little bit higher than I'd want to spend on a pistol. It's in the 160 to 170 range.
But that's about average for KWA guns.
Yeah, at least it's not the KSC G18.
Well, yeah.
You're not
spending
not spending $200 on a.
Yeah, but it's about average for the USP type guns. 150, 160, depending where you go. I'm gonna give this a 7 because I'm a big fan of the HK45, and they did kind of screw up some small features that I'm like, come on, guys, come on. It is solid overall, though. The extra magazine capacity is not bad addition.
Yeah, 30 rounds compared to the 26 normals.
Yeah.
Those 4 extra rounds, you don't think it's that much of an improvement, but when you're on the field,
30 rounds is a lot of bullets.
For those of you that use standard capacity M4 mags, you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it's 30 rounds in one of these magazines versus the real caps, Whew. Pretty hilarious. But 7 overall. The build quality is, the plastic, I'm not too impressed with the plastics they're using these days. I mean, it's solid, but it's not quite amazing.
Right. There is a little bit to be desired. Yeah. Again, like I said, I gave it an 8. Overall, that's going to be a 7.5 on the gun. Which still, what's that mean? Go get it.
Yeah, get it. It's amazing. It's still amazing, reliable, well made out piece. The only thing I would also question is you might have some trouble finding a holster that isn't a universal holster because they're not that prevalent currently. Because this is a pretty recent gun in the real steel world, so you might have some trouble with that.
Yeah, it's just like with the XDM we went over a few weeks ago. Yeah, on the XDM, you're not going to find
any tactical accessories whatsoever.
Exactly. Well, same thing you're going to get with this. You're going to have to wait a while to get certain accessories,
Yeah.
certain holster stuff like that. You're not going to be able to find a Safari Land or a CQC.
Standard tactical rail though.
It's in use at the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, standard Picatinny rail on the bottom though, which is a welcome improvement, obviously, from the previous USP design, which used a proprietary rail system. So that's at least one nice feature.
And you'd have to go in and buy an adapter to put a thing, so
Yeah.
you end up with something stacked.
So this is a standard rail, so it should fit any other. Glock actually is the same size rail, so
Right.
generally speaking, it'll fit most handgun accessories on the front.
Which is a very welcomed improvement. A lot of companies are starting to go that way, which is always good.
Exactly.
But for Cyphre and Dean, this has been another Airsoft review. Remember, play hard,
Play safe. If you like our videos, make sure to click like right there at the bottom. Subscribe, see our next videos upcoming. Thanks for watching.